This is called Goddess Sebet Chariots of Fire 6. This is some footage that I took one morning of the sun that's got these things going on. But what's amazing about this footage is that it's got so many spaceships in it, so many outside of the big purple ones and all the other light stuff that's going on. Look in the background and look at the multitude of the white images flying around in the back, in and out of these ships. These big light orbs that we see are motherships, and you need to look at it really good. Look at this footage really good so you can see all the small combative vessels that come to and from these ships. These ships are what you will put in the same equivalent as our aircraft carriers that you see on the ocean. Those big, yeah, they call them aircraft carriers. Those white lights that you see moving around in the background are vessels that house themselves in these ships that we see. They are coming back from various missions around this earth. You can see debris falling to the earth if you look at it good enough. You got to look really hard to see it though. They are actually having confrontation with these other life forms that I tell you guys came into our civilization and corrupted things by giving information to our existing governments on this planet on how to corral everyone into chattel property and mine this earth. Those white images that you see falling to the ground appear to me to be pieces of material that is falling to the ground. You can also see ships flying around those pieces of material to intercept them. They have methods of dissolving those things, disintegrating them, if you will. So when they start falling to the earth, they will be broke down into small fragments as not to do any damage to the earth recipients. Hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. All right, here we go. I want you to look for the ships. It appears to me that we are having a serious war around our planet. These extraterrestrial spacecrafts that you see flying in the background are fighting some other form of extraterrestrial being that has entered this atmosphere. As I was saying in the last segment, we're going to have to start accepting the fact that these light orbs that we're looking at right now has been supplied to us recipients here on the earth through the grace of our Creator, knowledge and materialism, to come here and feed off and to destroy our oppressors. Now, I'm going to run this back, and when I do, I want you guys to look for the stuff that I'm telling you about is in here as far as pieces of materialism falling to the ground. I believe these spaceships, now this, so you all can know, is right over Vancouver, Washington. I took this picture down in the area by where my shop is, called, you know, where it used to be there. I don't have it anymore. But, well, that's another story anyway. But anyway, I don't know the name of that area, but it's down there by Lincoln and Fort Plain in that area over there. I used to ride through there all day and take pictures of the sun. And on this particular day, I saw all these spaceships, and I just thought it was incredible, you know. And I completely overlooked all the little white ones in the background until one day I was looking at this and I said, man, look at all those things. How come I didn't see those before? But what's weird is that things pop up in my videos later that wasn't there in the beginning. Don't ask me how, don't ask me, I don't even want to try to tell you. I just go through a lot of stuff, you know. I give up with all the, try to find a logical explanation. That don't exist in this world we live in anymore. Some things is what they are, and it's pretty much, that's what it is. It is what it is. Leave it alone, just roll with it. That's what I'm coming to. You know, it's like, what you gonna do? That's the green light I rode here on at the pyramid. You see, they both came together. Pyramid from heaven met a pyramid here on earth and gave a green light for the god ASAR to ride to the earth. That's what all that is. I don't care if you don't like it. I'm showing you this stuff because I'm going somewhere with this. I want you guys to know that the spiritual energy on the earth is very mind controlling. It can make people pick up guns and kill people. I know this for a fact because these things talk to me all the time. They told me what they want me to tell the people, and I don't like to tell people because people are very foolish and unaware of this type of bizarre occurrence that's going on with me on this earth as being the person that was sent here as a representative of these lights and these ships and God and all that. You can see the debris falling to the ground that I'm telling you about. Let me run it back. I want you to look for that so you can see that. It's very important that you see that because it seemed to me like something got shot down. They're fighting something. They are. They're having a war. All those planes and stuff that you see, I shouldn't say plane, but the ships that you see in the background of this thing moving to and from the ship, they are at battle. Now look really good and you will see pieces of debris falling to the earth and you will see those ships going after them to dissolve them anymore before they can hit the ground. I saw that one day. I actually saw a ship, a spaceship, shoot another ship so much that it made that damn thing disintegrate. And once it hit it and exploded it into all these multiple fragments, all those UFOs got around the fragments and even shot the fragments and made them things even dematerialized into disintegration. And I thought, now these dudes are not a joke. They do not play, you know. But my point is that man has come to the point of hating each other so much that the universe, being wise as she is, can take people in a violent encounter to send a message to other people that's left behind to deal with the atrocious deeds. There's a lot of people there in Connecticut right now that I'm sure is grieving with their hearts aching at the loss of their children behind the horrible tragedy there in that elementary school. Well, I just want to try to send all my condolences to those people and to remind them that God knows what's best, and do believe that their children was given, believe it or not, a break and a chance to be recreated at a place more suitable than Earth right now, because Earth is a very, very contaminated, toxic place, and your children were very special because they were selected by the universe to be created into a place that would be more suited for their little souls to be able to become the God and goddesses that they were meant to be. So don't you grieve 1 ounce of grievance for those children and the losses of the adults as well. What you should do is be happy that they were blessed to be removed from this place by the universe, because the universe has a specific calling for every one of those dear children and all the people involved at the crazy mentality of this man. That's all that was. These lights, like I've been telling everyone, can come to this earth and go into your eyes and make you do crazy stuff. And that's what they are doing, because what they're saying to people is that you guys don't love each other. Well, let's just go ahead and get it done. And see, when people see tragics like this type of stuff right here, you know, to put it to you in a nutshell, I don't want you to try to believe that I am not having sympathy or empathy for the people who were involved with this tragic occurrence and lost their loved ones. That's not it. But what I want to do is point out to everyone the simplicity of these losses and how abundant the simplicity of useless murders is saturated all over this planet. See, now what happened is we got a chance here in America to see the horrors that the families in Iraq are going to right now at the hands of the United States, as well as Israel, as France and Britain. All these European nations are going around the world causing these same catastrophes to other families of other races as well as their own. Because see, what they failed to point out to us in the news segments on this circumstance is that this was an act of terrorism. And I'm sure that's because the guy who was the gunman had to be a white man. Because if he was Puerto Rican or Mexican or black or any non-white race on this earth, they would have said that was an act of terrorism. So the reason they're not saying that it was an act of terrorism, I'm sure, is because the gunman probably was a Caucasian male. They are the only people I know that can go into a school building and murder 20 children and 6 adults, and then it just be a gunman that went crazy and not an act of terrorism. Okay, when you get somebody to go on a bus in Israel and blow themselves up with a backpack around a bunch of Palestinians, that person is a terrorist. But now you get a white man that goes into a school and murder 20 children, and for some reason the word terrorist doesn't get implemented in this action. See, this is the reason stuff like this is happening. And I got to be real careful when I say this, because this is a very touchy matter, and it really hurt me. I actually cried over this. It is that tragic to me. Okay, so don't think that I don't have a bleeding heart behind this, because I do. But my job is to observe and report and to point out tragic things. Now, the people that has been the victims of this family, you can all join. The group of us all has been victimized by this senseless killing on this earth. The reason why I want to point it out to everyone is because I always say, if you don't get involved with the atrocious acts that you see being committed to your neighbor, then your ass is inviting those same atrocious acts to be committed to yourself. Okay? Peace and blessings, America. God bless us all. Hotel. Mayat Hotel. Okay. So I went on YouTube to find some good footage of this elementary school shooting. Okay, now listen. Again, this is a touchy matter. It's very touchy. I don't want to really be the person who have to say the things that I need to say right now, but if I don't say them, I'm afraid that this circumstance might happen again because I didn't take advantage of it. We know all through the history of people on earth that there's been a whole lot of crazy, atrocious acts demonstrated on large groups of people. Like recently, there was the people that all got shot up in that movie theater and all kinds of stuff that's going on. But see, what we all pay no type of memory to or try to have any type of nostalgic type of vibrations toward is the history of all people on the earth and the atrocious deed that we have all done to each other through wars and through neglect and deprivation and just plain flat out rudeness, racism, discrimination, and you have all kind of mad power to help someone, you just won't do it, and then have the nerves to down look on people that's having a bad time and come to you needing help, and you want to try to look at them as if they're so beneath you and you have power to help them, but they're so nothing, you won't do it, and then have the nerves to scorn them with your wicked eyes and your stares with your suggestion of you are nothing. And that's the way you want to treat people, okay? And we have a whole world that's full of this type of behavior and decadence with police brutality, abuse of privilege of judges and wardens in prisons, doctors taking advantage of insurance cards and doing medical procedures on people that they know was not required, but they want to make profit and everything. So now the universe has given us this tragic occurrence to give everybody a chance to think. And it's saying, now what is so bad where now we have people targeting small kindergarten children and murdering them? And then the crazy thing about it is that this was a white man that done snapped and went crazy, killed his mother and his father. Now I want you to look at the pattern, see, so you don't miss what the universe is saying to us. This man killed a trinity. This is what he did. He killed two adult figures, a male and a woman, and then he killed a whole bunch of children. That is a pattern there. This man destroyed a race. He destroyed a family. That is what he did. And he destroyed a large family. He destroyed 20 children. That is a large family of Caucasian people. Now listen to me so you guys can understand what's going on. And please don't hate me for having to be the prophet that I am. But I just want to tell you guys, I told you a while back, America, you are playing with fire. Now, I'm trying to point out to you guys that all this stuff is happening on this earth because of America going around the world, pushing her weight on everyone else and not having a problem with shooting and bombing everybody else's children. So now the chickens has come home to roost, okay? Now, this is the same thing that Malcolm X said that made him have problems with the Nation of Islam, as where now they all want to turn chicken shit and not support him after he was man enough to come out and tell America, yeah, your president got killed because your president has been signing policies and enforcing policies that's making other people get dead. So what goes around comes back around. Now listen, hard to say that without really saying that. That's really the bottom line. What's going on is that all the children around the world that has been destroyed behind corrupt policies of our country controllers have built a bunch of bad karma around the United States where we're going to be seeing more of this type of shit right here. You guys don't get mad at me. I don't even like hearing this shit because I'm not racist. And those little children, I'm sure, are better off because I know for a fact that God especially selected them because of special unique qualities that they had that needed to be somewhere else, because you cannot be a small child like that and something tragic like this happened to you without you having any type of bad karma that you had created for yourself eradicated. Okay, so let's all know for a fact that there is some salvation and some serious karma eradication going on here for these small children that had to go through this tragic occurrence. So on that note right there, I just hope that the people that has lost these children can understand that sometimes things happen because God knows what's best.
27 people have been killed in an elementary school shooting in Connecticut in the USA. From Washington now, I'm joined by artist Ghana Kichikana with more details. Ghana, bring us up to date with what you know.
Well, Bill, at least 27 people killed, most of them children. It was an elementary school in a small town in Connecticut. The attacker was identified as Ryan Lanza, a 24-year-old man. We're getting reports that Ryan Lanza shot his mother dead, who was a teacher at that school, and it was her kindergarten class that he targeted. We're also getting reports that Lanza's father was found dead in their house. Again, those reports, those are unconfirmed reports. That still needs to be clarified. 2 guns were found on the site of the shooting at that school. Ryan Lanza is dead. We don't know whether he took his own life or whether he was killed by the police. A witness said there must have been 100 rounds fired. There's another man taken into custody. They're not calling him a suspect yet, but he's being questioned. These kinds of shootings are a recurring thing in the U.S. There has been a number of horrifying incidents at schools in the past. This incident is the second deadliest school shooting in U.S. history after a gunman killed 32 people at Virginia Tech in 2007. We, of course, remember the Columbine massacre in Colorado, where 2 students shot and killed 13 people at their school and injured 24. But that was a high school.
Okay, now here's what I want to ask everybody. Isn't it kind of ironic that all of these catastrophes behind all these shootings always occurred in white, well-off neighborhoods, okay? The wealthy people are always the ones who seem to be bombarded by these type of tragedies. And I'm not saying that being wealthy is a crime. No, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that anyone who did deserve some bad karma to happen to them should have their children killed. Of course I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is that when you look at this, and you see these white men walking around with all these guns, looking for some white man who they've obviously killed already. I'm sure his ass is already packaged up and on his way to see Jesus or whoever he gonna go see, which is gonna be ASAR, and ASAR gonna get that ass, please believe me. But my thing is this. When he got taken down, and I know he's taken down because they out there searching cars and stuff in the parking lot, and wasn't nobody out there shooting people in the parking lot. They were shooting people in the school, which means that inside of the school has already been taken under control. Otherwise, those cops wouldn't be walking around the parking lot. They'd be trying to get in the school so they could get their chance and the possibility of shooting somebody. They all love to do that. But here's my point. All these guns that these policemen have, they'll be walking around with even if this guy didn't go into school and start to shoot. So the problem is, we have a system that glamorizes people shooting other people, and this is why this man snapped and went and shot up all these people, because that's the only thing he's been seeing in movies, in the newspaper, and with bad propaganda, religion telling you it's alright to go and God said murder all these people and steal their shit. All this stuff right here is why we have this stuff going on right now. Look at all the guns. Watch all the guns. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This guy walking past a car, sticking a gun inside of the door, looking in the car. He's like, okay, what's all that for? There's no bullet holes in this car, and I'm sure the man who came here to kill these children had a better plan than to just run out in the parking lot and hide in the car. This is just America showing you how guns influence people to find something to shoot, and that's why people end up getting shot. Check it out.
And then this last tragedy happened at an elementary school. Those are 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. The problem is that getting a gun is no problem in the states here, in most states here. Any attempts to regulate that hit the wall, and that wall is the Second Amendment, the right of the people to bear arms. Some states here do have controls over gun possession, but again, very limited controls. The state of Illinois, for example, used to have a ban on concealed weapons, and just this week, gun rights advocates there celebrated a court ruling that struck down the nation's last such prohibition as unconstitutional and ordered the state to craft a law allowing it. So much for gun control in the U.S. Then the state of Wisconsin tossed out its ban on concealed weapons last year. It seems there is no way of arguing against the amendment, even if those arguments are these horrific massacres that shock the U.S. on a regular basis. The White House today dodged questions on its gun policy in the wake of the tragedy. That too is a recurring thing. One of the policy goals of President Obama was a ban on assault weapons, but it's thought to be a losing proposition for any politician in the U.S. to really seriously take on the issue, again, even despite these absolutely horrifying and recurring incidents.
Ghana, thanks very much indeed for that. That's our reporter live there in Washington, Ghana, Chichikaya.
Alrighty then. Well, this is what we do know. We know that it doesn't matter what's really going down between a gun and a human being, because we all know. Okay? Let's peek this the way it should be peeked. Understand me. I have a gun. I don't go outside with it trying to find people to shoot with it though, but I do believe that times are going to come where somebody might try to kick my door in to come in here and try to take what rations I have to survive on, because there's not going to be any rations available anywhere. And if they come in to take my rations, that probably mean me. If we got to the state of cannibalism where people are eating other people, my mind is not too shallow-minded where I could perceive that being just 1 week away from now. I can see how close we are to that. So yes, I do have a firearm in my house, and every person on this planet should have the right to bear some type of way to protect themselves from people who got guns. And we know for a fact that the police will come to your house, talk to you, and then go take your bike, and then next thing you know, you all in the court system where they want to handcuff you and lock you in jail because you don't even want to sign a document. So when you have policies like that coming from a government who start pushing paperwork to try to make your gun privilege be taken away, hell yeah, you should worry. Damn right you should. Because guns don't kill people. People do. If someone came in my house to try to hurt me and I didn't have a gun in here, I'd pick up a knife and cut that person's throat, or whatever was necessary to do it to stop that person from hurting me or my children. I will be resourceful enough to find some type of way to combat the intruder. The most effective method would be to have a gun ready so I could keep a lot of space between me and this intruder to put myself at risk of getting bodily injury as minimal as possible. That's what guns are for. Guns are for cowards. So you could keep yourself away from an opponent and have a better advantage at taking him down and eradicating his opportunity to take you down. That's why there are so many guns on earth, because guns was invented by cowards to be used by cowards. And not only do they have guns and methods of being coward, like sniping and all that stuff like that, they also go and employ bulletproof vests and all kind of other stuff, like astronomical odds against people. Like, for instance, all this stuff I went through that day with the garbage can ordeal. 5 policemen, 2 policemen, 2 police cars, and 5 white men, all because one melanated man was trying to get something out of the garbage can so I could get me something to eat. Well, these type of strategies right here that these white men on this planet, the ones that pack those guns all the time, have done to destroy other people and their children, is all a cycle pattern that's coming back around. Hotel. Marriott Hotel. Okay, now look. What we're looking at here is an ocean liner that's like almost topsy-turvy. Real close to that, right? Okay, you guys say, so big deal. What's going on? Well, here's the deal. This thing is so close to shore that it's hard for me to believe that any captain of a ship that size, if you are so competent, okay, that they would turn them. Let me explain to you what I mean. I was a CDL driver for a long time. I still have a CDL now. But the thing is, the type of criteria and all of the methods of proof necessary before they let you go with that truck means that when you get your ass out there on that road with that truck, if you do something stupid and kill somebody, it's going to be because you did something stupid. It's not going to be because you did not know. Because they have a state examiner that gets in that truck with you. And now I got my CDL license here in the state of Washington about 15 years ago. No, it was longer than about 17 years ago, probably. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. I had, I think, 4 road tests before that guy gave me my license. It was a white man that came out. I bet he got tired of me too, because they sent the same guy all the time. Poor guy. And the first time I flunked, I knew it was a legitimate flunk because I messed up. So was the second and the third time. Finally, on the 4th damn time, I finally passed. And me and both of that guy was so happy. He was so tired of my ass. Please believe me. But my point is that you don't just get the privilege to be in control of these type. Now, if I had to go through that much type of criteria to drive a damn 18-wheel truck, you can imagine what this guy had to go through before they set his ass in control of this ship. This ship costs money, a lot. Not to mention that they could have 6,000, 7,000 people on them at any given time. And then you're going to go out on the ocean with it, where if something go wrong, people can drown. But this is what's really crazy. They really want us to believe that only 5 people drowned on this thing. Only 5 people perished. And it's like, those are astronomical odds that I find very hard to believe. What I believe is that the people who own this cruise ship does not want to be honest because of fear of Well, see, the generation of money is very important to them because they have to pay for all these ships. And this looks bad because right next to it, where I saw it on one page, they had advertisement for people to take Italian cruises, and I was like, no, I'll pass right now. Okay? But my point is that the reason I showed you guys this is that it's a lot of this stuff going on the ocean, and I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you something else. Now this thing right here is all turned upside down like that, too far inland to shore, where any competent captain would not have done anything like that unless it was legitimate reason. I'm going to tell you guys what happened, okay? Those UFOs did that shit. I don't care what no one say. These Europeans are so money hungry, and they are so in debt, and they need tourist dollars so bad that they will see this boat where these UFOs chase this man into shore. I bet you that's what happened. They put his ass and everybody on that ship through so much shit that all they wanted to do was get to land. And that's pretty much what they did. I'm going to drive this ship right onto shore and get away from these people. Let me tell you guys what's going on, okay? America has been instructed by the UFOs to keep their ocean liners as well as their oiling tankers and their military ships and everything else you can imagine on land. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are under martial law by the UFO. I'm going to prove that to you. Hold on. Marriott Hotel. Okay, so now what I'm trying to say to you guys is, as crazy as it might sound, the UFOs have really come to the earth to straighten these corporations out and say to them, you know what, you guys are going to stop all this pimping. That's all to it. You done enslaved people, you done dogged the women out, you're aborting children, you're selling melanin, you're selling crack, you're selling heroin, you're selling alcohol, you're selling tobacco, you are selling decadence to the whole earth. I've had it with you. So what they're doing is they're letting these corporations know who's the boss. They've already destroyed so much materialism. Next is going to be on land. If people don't start listening, they're going to come into land and start tearing stuff up on land. They're already using weather formations to do it. That's the reason why we don't understand that they are the ones behind all this, because their ships are not shooting projectiles and firebombs and things on the earth yet. But it could happen if people don't listen. If you don't pay attention to what I'm getting ready to show you right now, all of that type of stuff that I just mentioned to you is just a step away, okay? Now, the question about will he tell us the truth is like, if he did, it wouldn't matter, because you're still gonna want to be stupid and do all kind of crazy stuff that is not synonymous with someone who knows the truth anyway. Okay, so what difference does it make, if you know what I mean? Okay? I mean, seriously. Now I want you guys to see this. All the stuff that's going on right here in our universe right now is what's got us all bugging out at each other's throat all the time. Now watch this. Okay, now what you just saw there was a UFO crash into a parked vessel. These guys deliberately sent a projectile